so today is November 21st. Just leave it there. And tomorrow we have a 100-point unit test. The unit test is on everything we did last week and everything we did this week. Starting out, and I'm kind of showing it right here, this is the actual study guide that the kids got in class today. I have also offered this vocab in every class. So if you're needing the vocab, I would pause it and write it down. Tomorrow, I'm collecting this study guide, vocab and all. I'm offering right now in this video for you to get it, okay? There will also be a Quizlet that goes out later that has the vocab in it, in case you need it. Now, what I'm going to do is go through each problem. I'm going to tell you right now, from giving this test for the last few years, that it is what I'm going to call a confusing test. Not yet, after I'm done. It is a confusing test in that, no, you need your paper because it's very choppy. Like there's just little sections of each thing. Starting out, tomorrow, hint, hint, the vocab is matching. There's a word bank. That should help a little bit, okay? Now, going to this next section. So what I'm going to do is try to show you why you do what you do in each section. But if you are sitting here not paying attention or not looking at this video, tomorrow, guys, you got to know what to do for each section. Okay, so hint number 1 is, when I do this section, when I read the directions, evaluate the following expressions. If x equals 4, y equals 2, and z equals 5, show every step. Evaluate means solve it. Listen, another trick to this is, most of you are even seeing, you know what, they told me x is 4, you're doing this, and then you're coming to me and asking me, do I solve it? But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you've got all numbers and no letters, like you've got all numbers now, you can solve it. You solve it. You go down to a final answer. 27 plus 4 being 31. Okay, looking at number 10. That is z times x. So what this means is 10 divided by z is 5 times x is 4. That is z times x. That means 5 times 4. Now, you have to do this in the order of PEMDAS, meaning, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, meaning from left to right on the multiply divide. So, I have to do this division first. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Bring down the times 4, and I get 8. 8 is the only answer possible. I also need you to know, hint, hint, if you are getting decimals, if you're getting fractions, something's wrong, go back. There's nothing on my test that's decimals or fractions that I remember, okay? So I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, number 11. Okay, 11. I got y squared, which is 2 squared plus z, and z is 5. Okay, solving exponents first. 2 squared means 2 times 2. So that is 4. Plus 5, 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. Notice I'm showing every step. When we grade this, this thing might be worth 6 points, 2 points per line. Please show every step. Okay, go into number 12. It is 4 divided by 2 times 3. Okay, so from left to right, I got to do this division first. Giving me a 2 times the 3 is 6. On the next one, this is one that you kind of got to be careful of. You've kind of got 2 different ways you can do it. What we can do is go ahead and first fill in the z for the variable, because the z is up here, so it's 5. So I'm going to rewrite it. Okay. Now, we've learned this 2 different ways. Honestly, for this, because the numbers filled in, you could do order of operations. But right now, since we have been doing distributive property, what I'm going to do is distribute this 9 out because it's up against that 5 or that parenthesis. So, 9 times 5, 45, minus 9 times 3, 27, plus 7. Okay. Looking at the math, let's see. Going left to right, 45 minus 27 23. Slow down. 45 minus 20 would be 25. 25 minus 2 would be 23. You can kind of tell I haven't done this one yet today. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right math. Wait a minute.
28.
45 minus 27. So far, I don't think any of us have been right. Listen. 45 minus 27. 7 plus 8 is 15.
That's 1. Yes, it's 18.
And 8 minus 2. Right. Woo. Okay, so it is 18. I think I was even wrong. Okay, 18 plus 7, 25. Woo.
Wait, I did it in a different order, but I got the same answer.
You should. If you just did order of operations, you'll get the same answer. Okay, number 14. We're not doing it. Please stop. Z is 5 minus y is 2 times 2. I'm going to tell you right now, they're trying to trick you on this one. You have to do order of operations. We have to get rid of all the multiply divide before we can do add or subtract. So 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Yes, you've got to do it in the right order. Yes.
I thought we were supposed to use the multiply symbol because it looks like X.
They probably just messed up there. Just didn't think about it. But yeah, that can be a dot. You can write a dot. That's fine. I just didn't even think about it till you said so. That's fine. Okay. The next section is the day that we read. I think this was either Tuesday or Wednesday. The day that we read what I kind of called the weird sentences. And there were 2 things we had to do. First, we had to define the variable. When we defined the variable, we had to give a letter and we had to give what it was describing. Okay. Then, we also, I'll just do it this color. Okay. We also did when we figured out the variable, then we would write an algebraic expression. That algebraic expression is going to be right here. Just like tomorrow's test. Looks like this. Okay. So starting out, we would go in here. Honestly, the first thing I always did was kind of like find my thens. And we know if there's a then, we got to flip-flop it. Okay. Now, I go in. I start out by finding my variable. 3 less than 2 times a number. Number, yeah, number. Times is kind of meaning multiply. So you want to try to do n or x, and it meaning it stands for number. You got to give me a description of what it stands for. It can be x. Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do is go up in there and kind of put some numbers with it. So this says 3 less than means subtract. 2 times a number. Well, I know a number is n, but 2 times it means 2n. But if we flip-flop it,
It'll be 2n subtract by 3.
subtract 3, right? 2n, subtract 3.
For number 16, couldn't you use t?
George's time.
We're good.
2, and I just put 2 and a dot. That means multiply.
That is fine. Yes, if you put 2 dot in, that's fine. Okay, number 16. 5 more than George's time. Okay, yeah, you could do G for George's time. You could do T for George's time. Try to give me the description of George's and the word time. They go together because it's not Fred's time or Bill's time. It's George's time. Okay, 5 more than means 5 plus. And then George's time is G. Okay. So, if it says 5 plus G, but they want it flopped, it needs to be G plus 5. I find it interesting because I'm sitting here doing this with you guys, and some of your pencil hadn't touched your paper yet. Parents, I've done most of this with almost all my classes. Almost all. Like, I would usually skip this one and that one. Like, I might skip 1 or 2, but the rest in all my other classes, I've only skipped 1 or 2 in each section. Don't know what to say. On the next one, number 17. Okay. 3 times the number of floors in the building. Okay, we don't know the number of floors in the building. Okay, you could put F for that. I'm going to put N, and I'm going to call it number. It doesn't matter what you put, as long as you're talking about the floors in the building.
So it'll be 3 times number.
Okay, so 3 times the number of floors. Right, so we need to put it together to make it look nice and neat as 3n. If you put a dot, that's fine. You could put a dot there. It just kind of looks weird. I don't know. Yes. Oh. Okay, so that is the front. The next section on the back. There's this is the part where we got to know the properties, and I'm going to kind of give you some hints here. First off, it says determine whether the 2 expressions are equivalent. The first thing we got to write is yes or no. That is the first thing we write. Okay, then we got to list the property, and if it's a no, tell me why, if it's a no. Now, the only other hint I can give you is that tomorrow it says this, hint. Commutative, associative, or identity. The problem is with that, it still doesn't give you the whole answer. You got to know the whole thing. Okay? If you just give me that, I got to take off points. Okay. Meaning this. So let's look at the first one. Look at 18. It says x plus 0, which would be x. This side says x. So are they equal? Yes. What property is it?
Identity of property. Identity property.
Identity of addition. Now, when I'm doing this, all I do is I know it's identity because it's a plus 0 or a times 1. When it's plus 0, I know it's of addition. That plus sign tells you which identity.
Addition.
Okay. This one, we honestly messed up on. Some of you have been sitting at home wondering about it. Okay. All it is, we not only move parentheses, we actually move numbers. The problem is, this should be 22 times, 5 times 8. I'm trying to, it's not easy to kind of change it. All it is these parentheses are, our whole idea was parentheses moving and not numbers. So when parentheses move, it is which property? Associative property of multiplication. And it would be, equivalent.
If you kept that problem like it was, wouldn't it be commutative property?
It's kind of almost like they were mixed, commutative and associative, yeah. We just typed it wrong, to be honest. Moved everything around, so. Yeah, when numbers swap commutative, when it's parentheses moving, associative. So 20 is? Yes, and? Commutative, yes. So this is a yes. Commutative property of addition. And the tricker, be careful. Yes.
No. Do we have to write property for it?
Yes. No. Give me the word property. Y'all can do it, I promise.
No.
Okay. 25 times 1 would be 25. This is 1. So no. Identity of multiplication.
25 times 1.
And then you want a reason why it's a no. So we're going to put but or because 25.
Do you know where Jade's blue folder is? Jade's birth year?
Right back there, baby. Right next to my nurse's pass. So what I do is I finish the question with 25 times 1 and the right answer. Okay? Remember, any no's need an explanation. If you see division or subtraction signs, you usually say because division doesn't work with this property. Then that was the one for that one. Okay, the next part. We got distributive property. We actually did this 2 days ago, which was Tuesday. I need you to see the words because you got to read directions tomorrow. And right here is the big hint. Rewrite, you got to rewrite it. Simplify it using distributive property. Okay, now, all I need you to do is, if you're going to do the shortest version, which I showed you with arrows, you've got to show me the arrows. Meaning, this is the shortest version I can give you. 6 times x, 6x, minus 6 times 8, 48. That is the shortest form of giving me that answer. Okay, some of my morning classes, we did it a little longer, and I'll just show you. They would take 5 times 4c, and they would write this: 5 times 4c minus 5 times 10. Okay, this would be 20c minus 50. Guys, as long as you got 20c minus 50, you're good. It's the same thing. They just showed the whole step. Yeah, keep going. 9 times 4, 36, plus 9 times t, 9t. Okay, making sure your T has that little weird tail or curve. Okay. And then on the last part is what we did yesterday, which is simplifying expressions. When they say simplify, I kind of think of shortening it with this. Put together all the stuff that matches. Okay, so I see 8D. I see minus D.
So
7D, because anything that's just a D by itself is kind of like a 1D. So 8D minus 1D is 7D. Okay, then I find my other stuff that goes together. Plus 4 plus 9 plus 13, because they're both positives. 7D plus 13. I know, make sure you write it right. On number 26, you have to show distributive property right here. Because that x, in variable world, you have to do distributive property. So, I got to do 7 times 2x, 14x, plus 7 times y is 7y. And don't forget the plus 2x. Okay, now put stuff together. 14x plus 2x, 16x plus 7y. Next one, I got a s plus 6 times s is 6s plus 6 times 3 is 18. So this is kind of like a 1s plus 6s, 7s plus 18. Okay. Stop.
So the first S, when you do the first S plus 6S, is that a 1 on this?
Well,
Or is that just
it's really just an S, just like that. I need silence while I finish this video real quick. That S just means 1S. Anytime you see a variable all by itself, just kind of think of it as a 1 with that variable.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I want to say, sit down. Okay, I want to say one last thing before I turn this off. Okay, this test is 100 points, so make sure you kind of review and all that. But the other test tomorrow, if you have not made a 100 already, is the decimal to fraction timed 2-minute test. If you've not made 100, the people who made 100s are already in the grade book. Okay, I'm going to show this one more time. They have had this list. Please quit packing up for a second and just let me video because we have extra time today. Okay, we've got fraction to decimal equivalencies. We have known about this since before Halloween. Okay, here is the list in case anyone needs it. And then I'll also put out the Quizlet and everything else that you might need. Okay? So we'll come in real quick, take the 2-minute timed one for the ones who need to take it, and then start the unit test. So.
What's